Another function we want to visit is actually a function which many people are accustomed to, and is known by the name or the phrase chord looping. Now on the SD9 Pro, how do you access that? How do you use that? This is going to be a good opportunity for us to break down the LAUNCHPAD, which is a rather complex feature because the LAUNCHPAD has a lot of functionality within it, and one of them is the chord looper. So I'm going to talk about that and show you how you can use your style and how you can have that chord looping, how you can use the chord looper in the KETRON. So first of all, you pick a style that we have right here, this example, and I'm going to go ahead and switch out the screen real quick so we can get back to the page so you can see exactly what I am working with, okay? So here we go. So that's my screen, and I have this style. Now, I want to bring that style into the LAUNCHPAD environment to be able to use the chord looping function. So while you have the style, and while the style is playing, you're going to press the LAUNCHPAD button over here on the top right-hand corner, okay? Let me take myself out of the screen for now so that you can focus on the full screen. And I don't think I need the pedals for now either. So there we go, okay? So as the style is playing, press the LAUNCHPAD, and I'm going to say yes to this message. Export in progress. So now I have the LAUNCHPAD in the style. Sorry, I have the style in the LAUNCHPAD environment. I can test it out as follows to make sure everything sounds good. Okay. So now I want to be able to do chord looping. I want to be able to record a chord progression within my LAUNCHPAD. And how do I do that? So while I'm in this environment, I'm going to touch Edit Pad, which brings me up to this screen. So now I can actually go into my song recording mode. So here I'm going to think about the song and ask myself, how many bars do I want to record? I can actually program a certain number of bars. I'm going to keep it at 8 for this demonstration purpose, okay? I'm also going to go in here, song mode. I'm going to touch the auto chord on because I want that function to be on when I come back to activate it. That means that when it's off, I can play the arranger manually. When it's on, it's going to play the progression that I'm about to key in or record into it, okay? I'm going to now hit the record. So here we go. That's 8 bars right there, okay? If I hit start, that's my chord progression. So why do I do that? Because now I am free to play on the entire keyboard. Now that I have recorded the chord progression, my fingers are now free. So that means that I can now play along smoothly without having to worry about triggering the chords with my left hand as such. So you can see it's 8 bars and it looped around that progression, right? But guess what? That's not all. I have that progression in scene 1. I can record in scene 2 a different progression as such. So I have a slightly different progression in scene 2. I have a different progression in chord 1. Let's see how this works out when I go back and forth between the scenes. So remember, in chord 1 we have a different progression, and I'm going to go into scene 2. And now I can play freely as such. Let's go to scene 2. Now, what is interesting is I'm going back and forth. I just did only 2. I can do up to 5 different scenes, okay? So that's the chord looper, and I'm recording that. And while we are in the LAUNCHPAD, if you notice, I'm still working. I'm still going back and forth between scene 1 and scene 2. What if I want to automate that as well? Okay, so this is where you begin to build your blocks of your song. And to do that, I'm going to go into song mode, because now I can go into song mode and turn that on, okay? Hit edit. And what am I doing here? I can make a single pass. I'm going to add scene 1, and I want that progression. I want scene 1 to repeat itself, let's just say 8 times, okay? I'm going to add scene 2, and I want scene 2 to be played, let's just say 4 times. I'm going to go back again, and I'm going to add scene 1 again, and I want scene 1 to be played 8 times, and I want the song to come to an end at that part, okay? So in my song mode, I can say, start, stop at the end. I can say stop at the end, which means that after it's gone through playing scene 1 and scene 2 and scene 1 again, then it stops. So let's give it a try and see what happens. And now I can truly play the keyboard and just play my music while the chords are automatically played back in this particular arrangement. And I can save this as a LAUNCHPAD. Okay, so this is what it's going to sound like once we okay this message, and we now go back into our pad and play the song. Song mode is on, okay? Here we go. So, as you can see right there, I was able to have that progression do its own thing. And remember, the end user always has the right of way. So while that's happening, I can turn off the progression mode at any given time, or I can turn off the chord looper, which is right here at any given time, and take over the machine and start to play. So that's very, very intriguing. Those 2 functions are actually found in your LAUNCHPAD.